What's up? Welcome back to Racing Dudes Live. Aaron, Magic, and Jared is here to join us. We've got a excellent. You'll never find a better three-way on YouTube today. I promise you that. We're going to be looking at actually, we got a few races, big races to talk about as well. Coming up here in a few minutes at Santa Anita Park, Race 3. It's a Robert B. Lewis Stakes. If you had your head in the ground, this is the all Bob Baffert race. So 0 Kentucky Derby points awarded, but we don't need to talk about that. We know that. What's surprising, guys, is that Arabian Lion, the 7-5 morning line favorite, a horse that 2 months ago at this time looked like he could possibly be the best Baffert. We weren't sure. He's now the third choice in the field of 4 Bafferts. Aaron, you drafted this horse in the fantasy league. Are you surprised he's sitting third choice at 2-1 right now?
No, not really. I mean, it's hard to say. You got 3 horses here for Baffert that look pretty close to the same. So, you know, they're going to kind of go from one to the other. Who's going to be the favorite? I wouldn't be surprised if he runs third either. I mean, he was so disappointing at Los Al that you can't be too excited about him. You know, it's just awkward when you got 4 horses and they're all trained by the same guy. What are the odds going to do? And we kind of talk about it ourselves. Like, what are you supposed to do in this race? Well, the people are saying and showing you real time they don't know what to do in this race.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it's by the way, it's good. It's my first. We've had one maybe this first time on the live stream in a while, so it's good to have this back. Big day of racing, and yeah, feels like we've had a few horses already in the 3-year-old division already kind of make a somewhat of a case for them at Gulfstream, and then of course this race, and then we've got the Holy Bull coming up. But yeah, I mean, we said it on the show. The only way to play this race is just to play all and just move on. Because we've seen it all over the place. I honestly nothing. Worcester being bet, I kind of thought Worcester would be like 3-1, 4-1, somewhere in that department. So I'm a little surprised that this horse is kind of intertwined with these other 2. I kind of thought it'd be those 2, and then the 3 and the 4 kind of outside of that. So it is a little surprising to me. Kind of shows me more than anything that people don't really like the 1 or the 2. You know, so they're trying to find a way to beat them with, and that would be the 3 logically.
I'm sitting here, keep waiting for Leighton Money to come in on the 1. He's already starting to slip a little bit. It feels like that horse is just going to I don't know if it'll be sharp money, if it'll be computer money. I feel like there's a lot that's going to come flying in on him as they hit the gate.
I think what's happening here with the 3. If Hijazi was in this race, I think he would be a strong favorite. So I think people then kind of are just gravitating toward, well, I'll play the 3 in this spot. But like Magic said, he's now 2-1. Jared, he might get up to what you're saying. He's more that 5-2, 3-1 range, where the other ones are down a little bit lower. Although the next click, he's 9-5 again, so that may not be the case. It's going to be close.
Such a crazy. If you were going to do, Aaron, if you're going to do a straight trifecta, or even predict the finish for all 4 across, since straight trifecta is just one more, what's your order here? What are you predicting?
1, 3, 2.
That's what I was thinking too. Jared, what about you?
I would do 2, 1, 3. But it's so close. It could go either way.
Yeah. Honestly, if you're sitting here and you're like, I don't want to bet this race, then don't. I mean, I didn't bet this race. I'm going to be completely honest. So there's my motivation to bet this race is absolutely 0. Now to watch it, yes, because there are horses that if Arabian Lion bounces back, runs really well, he's a Derby contender all of a sudden. Newgate, he ran pretty well last time out. If he can win here, he's building his way up. Same way with Worcester. So for watching purposes, it's not the worst, but for betting purposes, it doesn't get much worse than this.
None of us having any love for the 4-horse, hard to figure. Did win a stakes race to break the maiden, but it was Los Al. It was restricted stakes and not exactly a star-studded group that hard to figure beat there. But Newgate still taking some money late here, is now down 6-5 favoritism. You gotta love the jockeys that are on these 2. You got Frankie Dettori and John Velasquez riding in a Kentucky Derby prep in California. A couple years ago, you'd be like, what the hell is happening? Why is Dettori out there? But yeah. He's done pretty well. He rode this horse really well in the Sham Stakes last time out. We'll see what he's able to do. I'm still going to stick with Arabian Lion at 9-5 value, maybe.
Yeah, sure.
I guess it's as good as mine on that one. I don't. Oh man,
Whichever one wins, that's the one that had value, I guess.
It's weird that now we have a clear favorite and it's number 2 Newgate. So I guess this is the one, and it could be a class situation. They've ran in really tough races with this horse, and now this one is not really tough. So Newgate now clear favorite, and then you got co-second choices. So we shall see.
Would be interesting to see what Arabian Lion won on debut with the blinkers, took him off for his next 2 races. They were both losses. He puts him back on. We'll see if that ends up being the magic potion that puts him back over the edge. There really wasn't any excuse for his low self-futurity effort, not that I could find out. So We'll see what happens. Last one in the gate. If you're playing this, good luck. I hope you threw a good dart.
Well, and that's, as they break there, that's what you thought. You thought Arabian Lion needs to go today, go out to the front, but I guess the 4 is going to go pressure. Are we setting it up for the 2? I don't know.
Mike Somich had talked about this being a difficult race to try and handicap because with 4 from the same trainer, you don't even know pace perspective. You don't know who's going to be sent. Like you can't tell any one jockey go hard because if someone else breaks cleanly, then you're burying 2 of them there.
Yeah, it's impossible because there's no race riding in the race. It's all like like 4 horses working out together, basically.
Yeah. An opening quarter of almost 24 seconds going a mile 16th at Santa Anita. That is not fast at all. So, I mean, you would think he could go, but they're all kind of grouped up here. It's not like there's any kind of advantage.
I'll say this: if the 1 can't finish here and at least make a really good run, we probably won't see him again.
You're correct. Yes, you got to at least. I mean, even if you run second, you got to run a good second here. 2's ranging up, so we'll see here. The 1 looks done. It is done. So it's unless he rebounds. Maybe he's gonna fight it for a minute here.
Re-break.
Toast to me.
I'm gonna laugh if the 4 takes this at 12-1.
The 4 is looking better than anybody else.
2 is
okay,
2 know how to win a race.
2's gonna win.
2 he was late to change his leads there, but Newgate did get it.
Good race from
Arabian Lion is trash. I don't know what happened to him or what's wrong with him now, but that last place effort. Was he last in Los Al too? Or if not, he's close.
Yeah.
Yep.
They pulled him up. I think something may be wrong with him. So.
Yeah, he didn't even get him out.
They pulled him up right.
Yeah, no, he was done at the finish. So the final time, 1:43, not bad for a mile and 16th. Usually maybe a little faster at Santa Anita. The mile went in 1:36 and 3, and he was all out for that. And I bring that up because earlier at Gulfstream Park, granted going 1-turn mile on different track, Tappet Trice did a mile in 1:36 and 2 and looked a lot nicer and a lot easier doing that. So we're going to be doing this a lot today. Compare, contrast. Tappet Trice winning that allowance versus Newgate in the Baffert group here. Jared, you own Tappet Trice in the Fantasy League. I think I know which one you're going to vote for.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I feel like Newgate is what he is, right? I think we all on this feed kind of know what Newgate is. He's not overly impressive. He's definitely not a bad horse. Tappet Trice looks like a horse that's got a ton of upside. He lost on debut, and then his last 2 efforts. Beat a nice horse last time out in that main special weight, and then of course just beat the shit out of a good sprinter. For Todd Pletcher today, that race. And he's one of those horses that, he doesn't look pretty. They need to work on him getting out of the gate a little bit. But he rode the shit out of the whole race. And then it's like he gets better as the race goes longer. And of course, being a Tappet, that's not a big surprise. But yeah, it definitely feels like we're going to see him at least 1 or 2 Derby preps moving forward. And depending on where Forte goes, I mean, I guess that's another thing. Where Forte goes and where he's probably the 1B to Forte at this point for the Pletcher barn.
We'll see Forte in a little bit. Yeah.
There's no question Tappet Trice is the most impressive 3-year-old we've seen so far today. And in my opinion, there is absolutely no question General Jim is the second most impressive 3-year-old we've seen today. I would take both those horses over anything else we've seen so far. with the Holy Bull still withstanding, obviously. But I mean, if Newgate can only win that race by that margin, what is Reincarnate really? And what is National Treasure really? You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't think anybody's any good over there in Southern California except Arabian Night so far.
Ooh. Well, Halterman, I'll go to you now because I know this one's a little rough for you because this is your first round pick. And I don't know that any of us, at least I told you that I loved him. And especially given, I think what you have, your fourth pick, maybe you traded to that. At that moment, he made a ton of sense. Right. So no one could have saw that he was this bad. Those last two efforts, clearly something is wrong. I mean, we think we just saw that, but he's certainly not what we saw that day at Keeneland.
No, he's not. And maybe he's more of a one-turn horse. I think that's possible. You watch that. I don't think you're going to see him again. They got him pulled up after the wire today. Maybe a little something happened with him. I don't know. That's the thing with 3-year-olds. It's ever changing, the picture. And what does that really mean about Giant Mischief? That's the other thing, right? Because he was a horse that beat Arabian Lion, and we all thought he would be something special. And then he's second in the springboard, and now we haven't seen him. And he's a big question mark now, too, in my opinion. And, we haven't seen Cave Rock how to work either. So, boy, I mean, are we really sitting here going, waiting for 4-day to come back, but Arabian Night and Instant Coffee, that's about the only two good horses we've seen? Like Tapatry and General Jim, horses on normal years, they run those kind of races. You're like, okay, they're good, but they're going to take a big step up. This year, I don't see that those two horses have to step up much to get right up into the mix.
One of the best ones in California, 3-year-old, actually, I think just debuted last weekend, and that's for Richard Mandela, Go Rocket Ride. Had a really nice debut effort, beat a couple of Bafferts in there. It was a candy ride out of an Uncle Mo mare, so should be able to handle 2 turns. But that's not Mandela style to go straight up into a stakes race or really push him or challenge him either. So other than that, yeah, it's kind of an interesting, kind of a murky scenario out here in California. And Newgate winning, that you've got to feel better about Reincarnate maybe, because Reincarnate was able to hold on to win the Sham and is a horse that Baffert said could run all day. But boy, really uninspiring group here in California. I mean, let's head back to Florida.
Well, the Reincarnate thing, I disagree. I thought the Newgate performance made him look worse because I don't think that was a very good race.
That's fair.
I know. I saw today because I have Carmel Road on my fantasy team too. That he worked out. That's a horse finished second that Los Alpha charity race that Arabian Lion was in that day. Interesting to see where Baffert points him, along with obviously Arabian Night, Newgate coming off of that, Reincarnate. So while they are starting to kind of filter out, there are a few still looming that we still don't quite know where he's gonna aim those horses.
All right, let's go back to Florida here. We got the Kentucky Oaks prep race of the day, the Forward Gal, 7 furlongs, 1 turn on the dirt at Gulfstream Park, and we are a few minutes it says 1 minute to post, probably be a couple of minutes, but Aaron, red carpet ready, the 2-1 favorite right now, atomically and undervalued asset for Pletcher and Chad Brown respectively, both at 5-2. Where'd you go on top here, buddy?
I went atomically on top. I'm a little surprised by the betting here, even though I used the 8 as well. I got respect for the 8, but I thought atomically would be the favorite. She's not getting back to her home track, getting back like second start with Pletcher where it's not a crazy spot, right? I mean, that spot last time out was tough for her, a big class jump, kind of dropping back in class, second start, like say for Pletcher. I thought we'd see a good performance from her. So I put her on top, but the 8, definitely deserves to get bet. I mean, she's been very good so far as well.
Jared?
Yeah, I got the 8 on top. I'm a little disappointed with the price, but it is what it is. I just thought that, the way she had ran those 2 efforts just dominated, dusted everybody, kind of pretty much going gate to wire. Beat a nice field, I thought, last time out in that Churchill Downs. Hadn't seen her in a little while, so that's the concern off the layoff. Will the horse perform? Arnold is not really necessarily known for firing horses off the layoff. So that is a little bit of the concern, but I love the fact that size gets them out here. So, yeah, I don't love the price at 2-1, but it is my top pick.
The big thing I think there is that you got Luis Saez jumping off of Atomically, going over to Red Carpet Ready. It's a speed horse, a speed jockey there, but Rusty Arnold's going to have to buck a couple of trends. 0 for 47 after long layoffs like this. 1 for his last 28 graded stakes attempts. And, at least Ben Thursday when Mike and I were doing the Magic Mike show, 10 starters at the meet so far. The best he could do, he got 1 horse to finish third. So a very cold barn, hoping that that Red Carpet Ready can heat things up for him. My top pick, I went with the 7. I went with the Chad Brown undervalued asset. It's a big step up going from a maiden debut into a graded stakes on dirt, but Chad Brown's actually 5 for his last 21 doing that. So he can handle it. And I just loved how good she looked on debut. She's pressed a quick opening pace, came home fast. She was eased up late. She's not being asked to go 2 turns. And I think that's a big key as well. We're only going from 6 to 7. So I think that she'll be able to handle it. I hope she'll be able to handle it. But as far as the pick 5, where I singled the wrong Pletcher to start it, I was 2, 7, 8 in this spot. I like the 2 as well. Might not be fast enough to get the job done, but at 9-1, she's a stakes winner going 6 furlongs. She's got talent. I just don't know if she's got the talent to beat this kind of group. But an edge that I thought she had anatomically and a couple others is that she is in form and has been running. So I like her maybe underneath at a price. Real quick, as they're starting to head to the gate, Jared, give me a price horse maybe to play underneath here.
I like, boy, it's tough. I guess I would play the 2 a little bit. I thought that horse showed a little bit last 2 efforts. Wasn't terrible last time out, even though finished 4th, only beaten 3. I think this horse will be kind of right there pressing the pace. So if the race does sort of melt down a little bit with the 8, I would assume the 2 will get kind of one of the first swings at her.
What about you, Aaron?
I'm saying I like the 2 in this race. Thought about putting the 2 on top for a second. I just feel like, these horses are kind of questionable, a lot of them. And I thought this 2 might be able to get the job done here, might be able to make some noise in this spot. Gonna need a little bit of pace pressure. That's going to be the key.
All right, everybody in the gate. Here we go. Interesting. Atomically going to be last one out. Back at the rear along is the 7. The 2 goes up, 4 goes up, and then 8, Red Carpet Ray is going to sit there. You're going to sit off, so she's not going to go gate to wire like she's done in the past. See how she handles rating.
Don't love that. Is. Got her in the outside middle of the track.
They're
going about 8
basically
wide,
22 and 4.
Off
yeah,
the
they're
pace.
cooking.
I don't know. We'll see.
Setting up well for the 7. The 3, if the 3's ready off the layoff, she's in the right spot, but she's starting to already go backwards.
The 3's in a pretty tight spot is the problem, but she's starting to move a bit.
The 4 started to back up into her a little bit.
This 8 looks tough.
Yeah, but did she go too fast? The 8 is in a good spot now, but can't she hold him off?
Yeah, that 7 can't get to her, can she?
I don't think so. I think the 8's got it.
8's got it.
Yeah, 7's going up and down.
Here.
We're looking 8-7-3 or 8-3-7.
Yep. Hey, there you go. Rusty Arnold off the big schneid for the Rusty Arnold barn. There you go.
The bench, every time, man. Every time. That was nice. That horse showed kind of a new dimension. Obviously went up against much tougher horses. And definitely passed the test. So that was nice.
It's a good effort. Yeah. I don't know. I thought that track in there pretty wide. Thought that horse might have a little trouble finishing the race. And I mentioned the top of the stretch, but she really didn't at all. That was a good win. I don't know how far that horse wants to go, but today that doesn't really matter. It was a really nice performance.
And she done 6 and 6.5 furlongs. 7's the longest she went, and it was pretty much 13 flat for that final furlong there in the stretch. So I'm with you, Aaron. I don't know just how far she may end up wanting to go, but a great effort there. I'm sure we'll see the top 3 of the horses move on. Decent effort for undervalued asset off of the, just the one race. Probably not a world beater by any means. What about atomically? A horse that was actually, I think, favored to win the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies and had a rough trip from Azario. Stop me if you've heard that before, but didn't get the job done. Aaron, what did you think about atomically's first race back?
So. I mean, I don't think there's anything to get real excited about. It wasn't awful, but like you said, she was in a good spot. Now she was in tight, but you know what? I don't think she ever really got stopped. If she was good enough, she would have at least got second, I think, in this spot. If you want to concede, well, maybe the winner is just a really good sprinter. Well, the 7 was kind of going up and down the whole stretch, wasn't really doing much. So I thought it was just average. I mean, I'm not excited to pick that horse again.
Yeah, that's horse that seems like the hype is dwindling with that horse. What's funny is the reason I mentioned the 2 was that like the 8 and the 2 had opposite trips in the race. I thought it'd be the opposite. That's why I like the 2 as a price, and the 2 set the fractions and the 8 set off. So it's how I drew it up, picking the 8. So
yeah, sometimes it doesn't go how you expect, but you still get a win, and so Irad was 7 yesterday. You got Luis Saez with 3 now today. He's been really, really good.
He's had to ride the shit out of some horses today too, so he's gonna be tired.
But even if he sweeps these last 2 races with he's got Alpha Bella and then Legacy Isle. First of all, huge upsets in both those cases, but it's still not good enough to beat Irad. Come on, Luis, what are you doing? You can only get 5 tops today? Really? There's 12 races. You can't win over half of them? That Irad thing was insane yesterday, watching what was happening there. Let me ask you quick. When you guys are at the track and you see a top jockey like that just getting hot as the day, and he continue to be hot as the day goes on, if you didn't use him in like the last or the second to last race, do you just go back and change it? You're like, shit, the jockey's hot.
No, not really. I mean, if you look at that, he was winning on shorter prices, and it's just like he had a great mounts and he did everything right, and they fired. But we kind of talked about this on Blinkers Off. Everybody, we picked Jared. I don't know if Jared and I both picked Lord Miles, I think, and everybody was like, "Oh my God, you're picking Safi, really?" And we're like, "Well, they've ran races since the Pegasus, and he was 2 out of 5 at the time we recorded it, and he won 3 yesterday. It's just the luck of the draw. Sometimes your horses fire, and sometimes they don't, And so I don't really let that bother me very much. I mean, the chances are you've got IRAD used on most of your tickets anyway, right? I mean, you didn't go into that day at Gulfstream going, you know what, I'm going to fade IRAD because he's not very good, right? No, nobody's ever said that.
No. I don't Paul makes a good point. Oscar Performance making a name for himself as a sire. He's doing great. This is a dirt horse. Oscar Performance obviously was a great turf horse, but red carpet ready, proving that she doesn't need the dirt. Great effort from her. Final time, 13 seconds flat pretty much for that last furlong there. If you listen to the Magic Mike show, Mike was very heavily on the Florida breds in this race, and I was against them. And Mike asked Shotty to have a picture already drawn up of me getting beat up by Florida bred horses. So, but it's one of those we're just gonna have to keep in the draft pile. Shotty, actually, put it out anyways. Put it out on Twitter anyways. Let people see the beautiful artwork. If you guys don't know, Shotty does artwork of some of the funny moments from either Blinkers Off or the Magic Mike show or our live shows that we do here on Saturdays. So put that on Twitter. Let's go see that one. I don't know about all jockeys being hot though. Not personally. I think some look better than others.
That's how I usually pick mine. So I don't know. I think if seriously though, like if I'm if it's a race that it's like I feel like it's pretty wide open or they're very evenly matched, I'll put some consideration into that if what jockey's hotter than others. Like, because if you think you're going to need to get a really good ride to win this race kind of thing, then I might lean a little more towards that jockey that's been hot versus the one that's over, the last 20 races or whatever. So I don't put like all the factors into that, but I do maybe sometimes use it, especially like I say, like if it's like a stakes race and it's like, oh, IRAD's on, whoever, and the horse is like 15-1, you're like, take that for what it's worth. But if it's a seemingly evenly matched race, like a allowance or a claiming race, and you need that kind of, you feel like you need that little extra something. I tend to go towards a jockey that is more been hot lately than the others. Not literally hot.
I missed the last 5 seconds of what you said. Just Jared, you can relate to this. My son's just got put down for his nap like 20 minutes ago, and he's at that phase where he'll talk to himself for an hour before he falls asleep. So he's just been sitting there screaming bloody murder. So all I could hear was.
Well, is he talking to himself or is he screaming to himself?
I guess he's more screaming to himself and his teddy bears that are in there. He screams and throws them up in the air. So.
Let the kid out, man. Come on.
No, keep him in.
Keep him in the cage. I mean, in his crib. Not the cage.
Right, yes.
Let's go. Let's head over to Santa Anita Park. We've got about 12 minutes to race to the Megahertz Stakes. And the reason I want to go here, we've got a friend of the show is Geist. He's got a filly in here. Oakhurst going to be trying to get the grade 3 Megahertz home, going a mile on the turf, scratched down to a field of 7 in here. Aaron, I know you looked at this race pretty handily. What do you think about Oakhurst's chances to win?
I've always kind of looked at Oakhurst more as a hit the board type in these kind of races at this level. Just doesn't have a ton of early speed, drops towards the back, makes one run. Did run really well, I thought, last time out in the American Oaks here over this track. They were with Chad Brown and they moved trainers. They've kind of settled with D'Amato. So we'll see what happens here. Where's the pace going to be? I think that's the worry for this horse. Anytime you got a horse that this pace dependent, you're needing something up front. I don't really see it. And honestly, with the scratch of the two, I thought the number 1 Bay Storm looked kind of loose on the lead. Got loose last time at Gulfstream, faded, got 3rd. I think this time at Santa Anita can kind of take that lead and not look back. So I like Bay Storm, the 1 horse in here. Oakhurst underneath for me.
Yeah,
Jared, what about you?
The 1's a pace play for sure. I just got worried that this is a horse that ran at 6 and 5.5 and 7 furlongs, and then stretched him out like you said last time out to a mile and lost. Now, obviously, lone speed, Santa Anita, sometimes I can carry it further. So he's the concern. I almost picked the horse but I'm worried about the distance catching up to the horse at the end. I ended up going with the 4 closing remarks. That was my top pick of the race. This horse has just kind of been knocking on the door the last couple of efforts, has won, and then went straight to stakes after that win at Santa Anita. And this horse, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and always gets a nice race. And look who the horse got beat to the last 2 times. Queen Goddess. Remember that horse just dominated at Gulfstream Park last week. So I think that's a nice thing. And I'm surprised the horse is not. I thought the horse would be bet harder because of that.
I like the 4. You've also got one of my favorite angles is play Carla Gaines 2nd off of a long layoff. Don't touch her first off, but that 2nd off the layoff, she's pretty good. She's 23%, firing at 24% with Jersey Joe Bravo riding. I agree, Jared. I think this filly's sitting on a big effort and has been knocking on the door, like you said.
Look at that last work. A bullet work for a horse that doesn't necessarily work super fast all the time based off the work. So, yeah, I think this horse, like you said, to that point, I think the horse is going to fire. Now, if it's good enough, we'll find out. But 4-1 is more than fair, if you ask me.
I would have liked I would like the 6 School Dance if this race was a little longer. I know she got a win 3 back going a mile, but it was against Starter Allowance Company. So not overly excited about that. She did win at a mile and an 1/8 in an allowance and then was 2nd by a head in a grade 1 American Oaks. That's a mile and a quarter race. This feels like it might be a touch too short for and especially if you're getting 3-1 on her. I do think she's got a good chance to hit the board here. Aaron, if there's a long shot of a price, we'll say outside of 4-1, who do you like to hit the board?
Yeah, I kind of like School Dance a little bit as well. I agree with Jared on closing remarks. What about the 5? I thought this horse was interesting in this spot here. Doug O'Neill coming off of a nice win, going 6.5, has stretched out to a mile before, did it 2 races back, ran 2nd at Del Mar against Star Allowance Company, gets the Tory back a ride for the 2nd straight time here. I thought the 5 made a lot of sense at 11-1. He's another horse, or she's another horse that's going to sit closer today. And I just don't see a ton of pace. And I think that could make a big difference. So I do like the 5 here at 11-1. I think if the horse can get that kind of trip that I'm expecting, this is one that's at worst is going to hang around and at least maybe hit the try.
Yeah, that was the one for me. It's hard. I thought the one originally, but of course it's being bet. So, but yeah, I think the 5 makes a lot of sense. Dettori rode the horse last time out. I'm a little worried about the distance. I don't necessarily think it's going to be a huge concern, but of the last 3 races, easily her worst race was, or at least buyer wise, was that mile race. And so I'm wondering if that she isn't quite good enough at a mile, but underneath it seems to make a lot of sense for me.
Let's see. We also, after this race, we'll go and we'll head over to Oaklawn. We've got race 7 over there. Gun Pilot is a 3-5 favorite. Wow. You got a good price on him in his first couple of starts. Not so much today, but we'll be tackling that one here once the Mega Hertz is over, and then once we get done with that, Gulfstream Park has the turf. It's the Swedish Chant. That's right, the Swedish Chant Stakes over at Gulfstream Park for the fillies. So lots of action here. Thank you for joining us. If you're new to this or if you haven't been with us before, thank you so much for being here. Put it in your comments in the chat. We love interacting with you in the chat about who you're liking, who you're picking. If it's somebody we haven't talked about. There were a couple of people during the Pegasus World Cup feed that were raving about Art Collector's chances, and we were all crazy for letting him go off at 15-1. And yeah, we were crazy for letting him go off at 15-1. He got the job done. So if you got a good feeling on a horse, let us know down in the chat, and we can talk about that one.
Aaron, while we're trying to kill some time here before this race starts, you're an owner of. We talked about Baffert obviously earlier with the all Baffert Derby prep. You're as an owner of Cave Rock in the Fantasy League. Each day you're a little more worried.
Oh, very much so. Yeah, we keep getting like people telling us like, oh yeah, he looks great in the stall. He looked great galloping. I'm like, that's fantastic. Put his lazy ass out on the track. Like at this point, I'm starting to think like the horse is just fat and they're trying to work off a bunch of he got fat sitting around. I don't understand what's going on with him. I would love to think that this could be Baffert's 1 or 1A and probably 1A after seeing Arabian Night come back, but you're not 1A if you're just sitting on your ass in the stall all the time, or you're getting lots of beautiful baths in the sunshine and galloping. Like fantastic. That doesn't mean jack shit at this point.
Yeah, and as Halterman and I have talked a lot about on Blinkers Off and privately, it's like the concern is he's pretty much theoretically his first start. Well, if he does come back, is going to be with a different trainer, whoever that is, and that creates a whole other thing of who's he going to be trained by, and it's like his first start and after a long layoff, and I just feel like you could see the horse not running to Bob Baffert quality. It's just a concern. Like you would love to have seen him back by now for sure. I know, and I think him and my horse Gandolfini, I think they're just hanging out they're just chilling in the barn. Like they have no interest in running.
I think Cave Rock's kind of screwed, honestly. Like we're mid-March at least before he's going to be ready to run. And like Jared just said, where is he even going to be? Who's he going to be with? And where are you going to run him? And it looks bad to me. And the way they run horses nowadays, that means one prep and then the Derby most likely.
Well, you can go ahead and say that for this horse too, Shoddy. I'm becoming more and more concerned for this horse as well. It was great. You kind of got that shot of adrenaline, like, all right, the horse is back with Asmussen, everything went well. Well, every day goes by. You don't hear anything about the horse. Haven't heard of even seeing him on the track. He might be fine, but kind of to the same point as Cave Rock, every day that goes by, it becomes harder and harder to get a race. Because even though that's the thing, even though Cave Rock has much more seasoning, they both had the same amount of points to the Derby, which is 0. And so they're both going to be up against it to even get to the Derby. I think both those horses, especially Extra Neo, seems like a horse that we might be looking at Belmont at best.
Well, I think the difference is you knew this, and I'm not saying we knew this.
Yeah,
about Extra Neo. We knew nothing about. There was no report of Cave Rock. They kept obviously something happened to him. Something is wrong with him, or was wrong with him, and they made no mention of it. And that's where racing gets tough, right? It's like obviously something's wrong. We don't know what it is, and that's another thing. You don't really know what's going on with him. Bob Baffert said it's the rain that forced that has got it behind, which is just an insane comment. And the fact that he thinks anybody would believe that is insane. But we don't know. We don't know. But we knew Extraneo had problems with this horse. We just don't know.
It's at least better situation than Corniche, where he had Corniche that had that undefeated record as a 2-year-old, and then Baffert kept, giving similar answers that he's given about Cave Rock. Like, the rain set me back, but he's right. He's right. At least with Corniche, he was at the WinStar Farm and cooling out, and people were like, "Well, we don't know, we can't see him, so we don't know what's happening." Yeah. It's a little extra grating that it's like Cave Rock's there. You're saying he's okay, but yet he still won't post to work. So. Yeah, it's not feeling great about it. To be fair, the other horse we considered taking at 3rd overall was Arabian Lion. We'd only be a couple of points better than we are right now in that situation. So
1 point better.
And 1 point with your horse, at least with Cave Rock, the jury is still technically out. I think we kind of we've confirmed that Arabian Lion is either trash or hurt or both. So. At least Cave Rock's only hurt at this point.
He's both. Cave Rock, obviously, he's in that mix with Forte where it's like, well, nobody's impressing yet. These were the 2 best horses at 2, so they might be the 2 best horses at 3. But like I said, Forte, you want a quick update on him? He has 3 works now. He did pick it up a little bit with his last work today. Little bit better, still pretty slow. So we'll see.
Shadi posted her photo on Twitter. It's pretty awesome. I like it.
I gotta go look at it now.
That was good. Dr. Tang not touching that one. Let's see. All right, we got 1 minute here to the Megahertz Stakes Grade 3 race at Sandy Park, going a mile on the turf. The 1 Bay Storm 5-1 on the morning line, but that scratch of Hamwood Flyer, it seems like it's really a lot of people seeing where we are, that this could be the pace of the race here. She's now the 5-2 favorite. Nadette for Neil Drysdale's 3-1 third choice. School Dance is 5-2 second choice. Nadette was an interesting horse. I was really hoping that she might actually go to the American Oaks after she had that autumn mistakes rally where she broke really slow, trailed. She finished in 22-3. If she doesn't break slowly over this track, I think she's got a good turn of foot that'll get her up there. To go 22-3 in that stretch that's no joke. So we'll see if Nadette's able to improve off of that one. Baystorm, though, still is the favorite here as they're about to head into the gate. You're getting 19-1, Aaron, on 1 Silk Stocking, the 5-horse for Doug O'Neill. Frankie Dettori riding. I would assume probably going to be sitting 2nd or 3rd, you think, off the pace, probably if the 1 goes to the lead?
Yep, that's where I have her sitting. And look, I don't think the horse should be the longest shot on the board. So I think we're going to outrun the odds. And like I said, maybe we'll hold on for 3rd and get a little bit of a price in there. I can't argue with your horses either that you guys talked about. So we'll see. I think it's just going to be a pace type of race, and then they're off. So we'll see.
Let's see if the 7 gets any of that Jeff Mullins Jr. magic as he goes back to the barn of Jeff Mullins Sr. Did Jeff Mullins Jr. actually lose a race when he was in charge, or no?
Maybe one.
Maybe one.
When he had 2 horses in the same race.
That's true. Yeah, I remember that. It was a closing race at San Anita. He did win one of them. Win with one of them. The 1 does have the lead. The 5 sitting right off of her hip there in 2nd. Nadette broke a lot better. She's sitting there in 3rd. I don't know if she'll still have that same 22-3 final kick if she's sitting this close to it. Oakhurst trailing at the back of the field, but that's okay. We really think she's got a good chance to hit the board. You're going to need some of these horses to come back on you. 1's looking pretty comfortable right now.
I mean, it's the trip you want. You just, you hope the horse can finish. I mean, 48 for a mile. We'll say it again for the 2nd straight race. If you're any good, you finish and you win. But we'll see. If she may not be any good.
We learned that about the other 1 horse last time.
Yeah. Who's ranging up here on the outside? That's the 6. School Dance Magic.
Who ended up 6 went off as the favorite at 2-1. That's crazy.
4 starting to come through.
Here comes Oakhurst. Come on, Oakhurst. Come on, 8 horse. Come on, 8.
Yeah, Oakhurst is winding up.
Come on, girl.
How about this 5?
Don't flatten out.
How about this 5?
Uh-oh. Mullins horse. Watch the 7.
Weaving through everybody.
Boy, The Jeff
Wow.
Mullins Jr. Magic, it still worked out. 7-1. A hell of a race from the 1 to fight off everybody. Just couldn't hold off the 7 there.
Jeez. 7 was
10-1.
cannon.
Barrios Hector getting the job done.
Jeez.
Wow.
Isn't it funny how the pace makes the race? Unless you got a horse that might have a little something special, then it doesn't matter. Like the 4 made a big move, but it's like they let the 1 get away with murder, so they couldn't quite get to her. And then the 7 just weaves through everybody and wins. So it's just funny to watch that sometimes.
Funny is one word, yeah.
Yeah. Let's ask Geis how funny he thinks that was. I know that he's out here in California. He was out to watch her and Kitty Hawk last. Who's the other horse that he had that was running this weekend? But didn't get the job done there. All right, let's move over. Let's wash our mouths out from that. Let's go to Oaklawn. Steve Asmussen's got the 3-5 favorite in race 7. That is Gun Pilot, a mile-long allowance race. Gun Pilot went from a maiden special weight win on debut at Churchill Downs, a good second to Verifying an allowance race last time out over this course and distance last month. Verifying is expected to go to the Risen Star Stakes at Fairgrounds. It sounds like for his next start off of that big effort. Aaron, I know we like Gun Pilot. Do we like him at 3-5?
Well, it's hard to swallow him at 3-5, absolutely, without any doubt. But he is the most likely winner in this race, I would say. But listen, the 6 is 5-1 for Moquette Protege. That horse has been facing some really good ones and not getting embarrassed. 2 races back he got embarrassed, but last time out finished within 4 lengths of Hit Show, a horse that probably was going to be favored in the Withers or the second choice in the Withers. He beat Lugan Knight, a horse that went up and won the Jerome. So he's been with some decent company at 9-2 now. I think he's worth a little bit of a shot. You got the coach at 5-2. He only got beat 2 lengths to Frosted Departure and 2 Eagles River. Those horses aren't horrible. So there's some options, but Gun Pilot is my top pick, even if I don't like the price.
Jerry, what about you?
I can't play Gun Pilot at that price. Even though the horse, probably would take Protege here. I think the price is the most fair on that one. Not a great field though, that is what make. Obviously it's not a great field if Gun Pilot is sitting at 1-2 now. So I'm going to take the 6. The 6. I'm sorry. I think it's 5. The 6 at 5-1. That's who I would take.
It'd be interesting to see how the pace plays out because Gun Pilot had that nice second, partially because he got out to a nice lead from the rail, and it was only a 6-horse field. Facing 7 here, and I think between the 6 Protege, the 5 Coffee Caliente, you could see even the 3 Vigorish, they're all coming out of one-turn races. You could see some of them go to the front. Aaron, let's if you like Gun Pilot here, say you want to play him in a cold exacta, who are you using underneath?
Yeah, I'd go 2-6. I definitely think the 6 is a horse that just got the class. I don't fully trust Lucas with the 7. We're kind of up and down with Bourbon Bash. Wouldn't be shocked if he ran a big race, but also wouldn't be shocked if he's off the board. I think you can rely on Moquette at this meet. He's been doing really well. I think the 6 is going to run well, so I'll go 2-6 on the exacta.
Jared, same for you?
I've got the 6-2 exacta.
6-2 exacta. All right. You know what? I'll go 2-6. I do like the 1 Gun Flash a little bit here for Carl Broberg. Broke the maiden on debut going 6 at Remington. Went to the Springboard Mile, no match for Wild Atlantic Storm, Giant Mischief, and Echo again. And then it got caught, shuffled way far back in the allowance race that Verifying won. Gun Pilot was second. A better break. We're on the rail here. Christian Torres riding, and the blinkers go back on after coming off for that race last time out. I don't think this horse is going to win. I do think this horse is a lot better than that last race that we saw. And so I actually would play. I'm going to go with a Gun Runner sired exacta. I'll go 2-1 here at Oaklawn Park. They're getting ready to go into the gate. Actually, they are starting to go into the gate here. By the way, shameless plug. If you want to see the Tap at Trice replay that we were talked about at the top of the show, still the best performance from a 3-year-old we've seen. We'll see what Gun Pilot at all do here. You can catch that at youtube.com/racing news. We've already got that uploaded. Any kind of Kentucky Derby race where it's either it's a prep race or maybe it's a maiden special weight allowance race, we've got those for you in one easy to find playlist over at youtube.com/racing news. So go check that out and subscribe if you haven't yet. 7 horses will be the last one if they can try to get him in the gate. He's circling quite a bit back there. Gun Pilot's looking pretty ready to go from the 2 spot here. Aaron, who goes to the lead? Who leads into the first turn here?
I would say Gun Pilot, without a doubt, should be on the lead. If he's not, something's wrong. But you know what? We've seen some weird trips at times, so we'll see here. He got out of the gate okay, so let's see if they send him. No,
he's going to be, he's going to be 4th or 5th going into this turn.
So he drew it up.
It's a weird day for trips. I'll say that. I didn't see the 4 flying out there like that, though, so that's part of it. But look, there's 4 horses ahead of him at this point. So,
Greg in the chat before they broke said the 4 looks good, but 1,000,000 to 1. I mean, looking good so far, Greg.
So far, so good. Walter De La Cruz put that horse out in front. Look at that horse is pulling. He's got a handful of horse right there. He's wanting to go faster. And opening quarter, 23.75. Once again, we're not seeing blazing paces today, are we, guys? It's pretty reasonable. That 4's good enough, Greg. Look out.
At least it's not the 1 horse. Every time we said, hey, if the 1's good enough, it's going to win. Not the case so far. Gun Pilot's going to have to get out of this trouble that he's looking like he could get into in this far turn. Don't do it, Ricardo. Well, he's just not going to do it at all, is he? He's just going backwards.
He hasn't asked Gun Pilot to even run yet. Now he's asking him a bit to pick it up.
There he goes. Maybe he just waited till they had clear running room, apparently.
Yeah, I guess he was just kind of be patient. Look at Bourbon Bash for the coach up there. He's going to be the one they're going to have to run down. 6th through in the towel, I think. Here we go. 2 or 7. Who's it going to be?
I think he's going to get him.
Gun Pilot's going to get him. Yeah, good race. 2, 7, 6.
Come on, get that 1 up there. Get the 1 up. He only got 4th.
Yeah,
he's a bum. What's funny about Bourbon Bash, Aaron and I were talking before the draft, there's always one Lucas horse that seems to get run into the ground on the Derby trail. I really thought it might be that horse, and the fact that he showed up for his 3-year-old debut in not a stakes after his last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 races were all stakes. I thought maybe the coach had given up on him, but you know for sure this horse will probably wheel back, probably for the Rebel Arkansas Derby and maybe the Lexington before the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah, he ran well enough to do that for sure. So yeah, I'm sure we'll see him in the stakes. He ran okay. Dennis, I'll throw where did his comment go? There it was. Beautiful ride on the 2. Boy, it really worked out to be. I didn't think it was at first, but then they were asking, and he's losing ground. I thought, this is not good at all. He knew what he was doing. He waited, kicked out, got clear. So it ended up being a really good ride. And the 2 Gun Pilot shows a new dimension there as well. That'll be important because, you know, he had been a horse on the lead. He comes from off of it, didn't mind passing horses. And congratulations to Shotty and Davey for the fantasy team. That was a good-looking win.
Yeah, it was one of those, like, I was ready to crucify that ride. So I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But then you look back and it was just completely confident ride. He knew exactly what he had. I mean, I don't think that field was trash, kind of like we thought. But I do think showing that dimension, and he won easily. So interesting to see what they do with him next. If they go to the Rebel or if they take him to Fairgrounds, we'll see. But yeah, he's definitely one that you would think is going to be in a prep next out there, Shotty.
Yeah, he's 100% going to a prep for sure. Right? Like I said, will it be 1 or will it be 2? At this point in the year, you could probably sneak 2 preps into him, give him a couple of chances. He's getting better. He got better from that start at Churchill to this start, or to the last start, and he got better again. Also, verifying. Now that, I think, for the first time, I'll say that is a performance that flattered a horse that had run in previous races. Verifying beat this horse easy. So I think this elevates Verifying.
Very much so. The 6, by the way, Protege, was originally going to head into the Southwest Stakes last weekend. And trainer Ramo Ketz said that they scratched because he caught a case of Arabian night flu, meaning they saw the horse and went, not facing him. They thought this would be an easier spot. Still didn't pan out for him. But congrats to Shotty and Davey. They've got a nice one there in Gun Pilot. We got 9 minutes to post over at Gulfstream Park. Let's head back there. We have that's not the right race. There it is, the Swedish Champ Stakes. You want to go to Tampa first? Let's go to Tampa.
You got the stakes race about to go off at Tampa. So
yeah, let's do that one.
What race number is it?
It's race 9.
Race 9. All right, here, I'll pull it up the screen. The Tampa Bay Stakes. All right, grade 3 race. Jared, you wanted this race. Who are you going with on top?
Yeah, this one was one we talked about actually on Blinkers Off. I feel like this was one of those that you could go all over the place. It was one of those kinds of fields that, Halter and I both gave out 30-1 shots that we liked underneath that were that were different. This one to me, I ended up going with the 10 Ches Pierre, just because I felt like it was either you're going with a favorite because I do think the horse is better than the rest of them, or you're just taking a shot. I like the 1 though. I do like the 1 underneath. So I'll be using the 1. I'm using the 1 in tournaments, but I do like the 10 on top.
Aaron, the 6 Emmanuel, a horse that we knew a little too well from the fantasy league, didn't really turn into a whole lot as a 3-year-old when it came to the dirt racing. Did win the Pennine Ridge Gate to Wire in his turf debut. Saratoga Derby didn't go that well. First start as a 4-year-old, very long layoff. What do you think about his chances here?
I hate him, and I hate his chances. I don't think he has any shot to win this race. I did like the number 4 win from within a little bit. I thought that horse was interesting. If you're looking for a price, I thought the 2 Kentucky Ghost made a little bit of sense as well. At 9-1 now, this horse has got some class. I thought this was a pretty good spot for the 2. But yeah, I think we'll see an upset here. I know, Jared, you like the 1. I like the 11 a little bit, but the horse ended up scratching, so can't talk about him. But yeah, I like the 2 as an upsetter and a 4 as top choice.
It was like Dr. Tang. It's a big tournament race here. You got the 12 or the 13, so both make sense, I think, as well at decent prices. So yeah, definitely it's a kind of, in tournaments, it obviously makes a ton of sense to play against the favorite, but if you play against them, you're really, and especially like I'm with you, I don't think Emmanuel can win at 5-1, so scratch him out. You're really you got to pick from double-digit prices across the board, so that's really that kind of race.
Win from within as his only try over the Tampa turf, won at Gate to Wire with Saez aboard the Columbia Stakes 2 years ago, almost to the day. Now as a 5-year-old here. I think the 4 is probably where I would go with my top choice here. Tampa's a quirky track, and if you want to play lots of Tampa Bay Downs, next weekend, Magic Mike Show will be covering the late pick 5 there because it'll be Sam F. Davis Stakes Day, Kentucky Derby prep, and lots of good stuff on the undercard, including the Suncoast for the Kentucky Yokes. So if you don't like Tampa Bay Downs, we're going to have to like it for at least I always tell Mike this. You got to like it for 2 weeks out of the year as we got to go over there and cover what's going on. But everybody's in the gate. Good luck if you're playing. Let us know in the chat if you got any feels here on the Tampa Bay Stakes.
All right, here we go.
Good break from the 4 there, Aaron.
Yeah, I wanted that horse to be up towards the front, if not setting the pace. So that's not bad. Let's hope they're not flying if you like the 4. Where the hell is the favorite? Oh, the favorite's right there in like 4th. That's a pretty good spot.
It's the 10 horse. Yeah, he was able to get over as they have to come down the chute going this distance there. So lots of turning for the 10, but he didn't get stuck too wide, it seems like.
No, pretty decent trip. Jared, your long shots last, but they are going fast. If that's accurate, they're flying.
They're moving. If that's
yeah.
I mean, I definitely set up for these closers, but he's gonna have to circle the field. So we'll see.
If you like the 4, you really got to hate that this 9 at 54-1 is pushing you at 22-3, 46-1, basically.
Yeah.
I don't like the 10 being stuck 3 wide through both turns, having to chase that kind of a speed like that either.
Yeah, a 4's trying to kick away from that 54-1 shot, but the big challengers are coming after this pace that they've set. Man, 10's getting first run, looks good. Who's following him though? Who is this?
There's a horse that is booking like crazy from the back. Who is that?
Emmanuel is making a big move. The 4. How is the 4 still in front? Look at Emmanuel. Emmanuel may win this thing. He's gonna win.
Wow.
At 6-1.
Closers. Nope, closers won't get there. They weren't moving fast enough. Emmanuel, and not even Gate to Wire. Emmanuel wasn't close to the pace there.
Anybody notice the 4 holds on for second after setting that pace. Anybody that finished behind the 4, throw them out. How could you not catch the 4 in that spot?
Trash.
Oh, wow.
I don't know. It's like how do you make sense of Emmanuel even winning? And then you say, well, he won off the pace. Like,
So Tampa's a quirky track. You don't expect anything to play out the way it's going to. Throw darts at a board.
I just want to point out that it was Jared's fault we went to that race. Nobody wanted it but Jared.
Hey, here's what I thought. Emmanuel's in the race. We'll talk about it. Never thought he would win. You know, when we did the show, we get to it. Everyone's like, is that the Emmanuel? We're like, yeah, that's him.
It gets better. Jason Beam just announced that's not only a new stakes record, that's a new track record for a mile and a 16.
Well, sure.
I mean, to be fair, he went 6 seconds flat in the stretch in that final half furlong, but
yeah.
Wow. I guess that's why Castellano went to Tampa today. I don't know.
He looked great. I mean, you could tell on the turn he was going to win. Because if you heard me say it, the 10 was making a move. I said, "Whoa, who's that behind him tracking him? Oh, it's Emmanuel. Well, he's going to win." Like he made a huge move. I mean, a huge move.
Wow, that was impressive. Well, that's Tampa. Let's go back to Gulfstream, other side of the state of Florida here. 2 minutes to post for the Swedish Chance Stakes. 9 3-year-old fillies going to mount a 16th on mount a 16th on the turf here. One horse that both Mike Somich and I loved here, despite the jockey. Sweet Lou's Got Aces on the rail. Fastest horse on paper, drew the rail just like last time when it went to wear in the Tepin. The weight strips have gone, Aaron. That horse isn't going to be on the lead, so I don't know how to read this race. Where are you going on top?
I put the 7 on top because that is just a super consistent horse. Really nice horse. I went too deep in this field. The other one I used was the 1. And I listened to your guys' show this morning as I was working, and we had a lot of the same points. But my God, guys, I mean, this Rosario thing, it's getting worse by the day. He's on a live one, in my opinion, here. This horse is ready to run a big race. It's worrisome. Let's put it that way. But I do like the 7 quite a bit. I don't know how you can't like the 7. Just a damn good horse. This just wins, and a classy horse. But I used the 1, Magic. I'm with you, and we can get mad together for the second straight week, I guess.
Jared, what about you? Did you also take Rosario on top here?
No, I did not.
Smart.
No,
okay.
I think the 7 makes a lot of sense here. I think the way the trip sets up should be nice. I took a little bit of a swing though, and I like the 9, Stephanie's Charm, all the way to the outside. Jose Ortiz stays aboard after riding her in that Ginger Brew where she ran second to Carol Consort, of course, the 7 that I just mentioned. But ran a nice race, I thought. That was going a mile that day, stretches out to a mile 16th. Hasn't won at that distance, only tried it once, but has ran well at Gulfstream Park these last 2 races, and maybe just needs a little bit more ground. So I think 14-1 is more than fair on a horse like in a race. I mean it's like you said with the 1, I can't play Rosario on the 1, and I'm sure the horse will win for fun now because every time I say I can't play a horse, they win. So.
I think that I'm with you that the 9 definitely outruns her odds. If you look at her 2 synthetic route races, she got the maiden broke very handily, and then the RG Peggy Stakes was her next start, and she ran well in that. To get beaten in her first try versus winners in a stakes race, there's nothing wrong with that. She reminds me of a horse that just needs some really good racing luck. She needs a lot of things to go her way to get the win, but I think for an underneath horse, at the very least, she's definitely a good one to watch out for. She's got a 3rd when she made her first start off this for this form cycle, then got 2nd, as you mentioned, in the Ginger Brew. Maybe that extra ground is what pushes her forward here. Aaron, the 2-1 morning line favorite was Cairo Consort. Your 2-1 favorite, I haven't heard really anybody talk about. That's the 8 Heavenly Sunday. Brad Cox, Tyler Gaffleone riding. Horses 2 for 2 in both times turf routes, including from Indiana Grand up to Keeneland to get the job done in her second start. What do you think about the 8 here?
I'm shocked that the horse is the favorite, but I'm not shocked that she took money down from that 5-1 morning line. It's a 2-for-2 horse for Brad Cox. Really nice couple of races here, and a horse that looks like one that should be a pretty good 3-year-old turfer. Last time out was at Keeneland. It was a tough allowance races. You guys know as well as I do how tough those allowance races are at Keeneland that time of year leading up to the Breeders' Cup, and she was able to get the job done pretty easily. So she's a good horse, and I don't know that 2-1 is really deserving. I don't think she deserves to be the favorite here. But if you're betting her, I'm not going to sit there and call you dumb. I think this horse is, she fits. She's got a shot to get the job done here. But we're going to see her against Stakes Company for the first time, and we're going to see if she matches up with some of these other ones that are pretty darn good.
Jared, did you like the number 2 Padma at all in here? It's a Bill Mott trainee who broke the maiden second out and has never been worse than second, but there was always on dirt. And I looked at her breeding. Her family on the dam side really doesn't do much turf racing or much success there. So I was very hesitant to play her here on turf, but did you like the 2 at all?
I'll say mildly. If the horse can run like she's been running, she's certainly in the race with a chance. I think the buyers kind of line up for her to improve. But like you said, hasn't tried the turf yet. Mott isn't necessarily known for the turf or the dirt to turf angle. First turf, he only hits at 6%. So to me, this looks like more of a case of maybe she'll like turf. They don't know. They're going to try it out. And so I'm going to take the wait and see. Although 7-1, if you are playing the horse, is probably in the ballpark because the horse has been pretty talented. In her races, she's been good. I mean, they ran her in a stakes race last out, so they obviously think she's good enough.
I thought it was interesting that she showed up here in this instead of one race earlier, the 4 Regal going 7 furlongs over the dirt. And if she had been in the cash run stakes last out was a mile for her. If that had been 7 furlongs, maybe she would have been able to win or be closer than 2 1/4 lengths. Aaron, any positive or negative thoughts on Padme?
I like that horse, but I'm with you. It's kind of a weird spot, but Bill Mott kind of knows what he's doing. So maybe this was kind of the plan for a 3-year-old season, get a race on the dirt and then go to the turf. I don't know. It is like stretching out in distance. I think that's a positive, right? I think we need the 2-turn race. But turf, it was a little bit of surprise to me.
They're headed into the gate here. 2-1 favoritism. It's split now between the 8 and the 7s. Looks like Cairo Consort's going to be ultimately the favorite when they go off here with the late money. Sweet Lou's got aces 7-2 as the third choice. After that, it's pretty wide open. Padme the 2 and Malimu the 3. They're both 8-1. Malimu had that very impressive rally to get second in the Wait a While Stakes. Our first time North America, first time facing winners after that nice debut win for Joseph O'Brien overseas. All right, everybody's in the gate. We'll see what happens here. Aaron, we still got one more. Aaron, who's leading into the first turn?
Ooh, well, it should be Rosario, but we'll see.
She was, well, you know what? She wasn't the absolute fastest out of the gate.
Where is Cairo Consort?
Got left at the gate, missed the break completely.
Yep, she's miles behind them.
Wow.
Hey, Rosario's got her on the lead. We might have a runner here. Also, Malimu, talk about a better break than last time out. She's challenging for the lead right now.
Wow. And they went 22 and change. Oh boy. That's not good.
Well, it does set it's good if you bet Cairo Consort because you know that they're coming back to you at least as your she's at the back of the field still, but she's not a pole behind them, so she's at least got that going. Got 1, 3, 4, 5 down the backstretch. This half mile time should pop up here any second. Looks like they slowed it way down. Yeah, wow, 47.
Yeah. I can't believe the 3 is putting this much pressure on. That's surprising to me. But you're right. The 3 much better break today, and they just said, let's go out there and see what she can do. Where's your 8? 8's ranging up.
Yep, Heavenly Sunday's starting to. There's some riders have a certain style that I just can look and automatically know who the rider is on that. Gaffley owns one of them. 7 looks like she'll have. She might just be left with too much to do. Is she even going to go now? 7 might not go. 5's going to take the lead here.
Yeah.
Alpha Bella for Todd Pletcher.
Look who's free and flying.
There she is. There she is. Cairo Consort.
Wow, what a race. Unbelievable. I gave up on her.
How did she even get outside? Last I looked, she was in. She went 5.7 seconds for that final half of a furlong.
She literally spotted them like 20 lengths.
Wow.
And did it in a style that she never does. It's pretty.
What's funny is I was with you, Magic. I was watching. I was like, okay, she's within range, and then I gave up on her again because I was like, where is she? You know,
because she was still like what? She was a second lane off the rail at the top of the stretch. How did she get out in the middle of the track like that? Like where? How?
Wow, that was something. That was amazing.
Well, listen, we can't knock Rosario, right? Rosario did what he was supposed to do, which was put the one on the lead. She was last, but it wasn't because he did anything wrong, I don't think.
Yeah, that was just a dumb use on our part, but we got bailed out by a performance now. I got to see this replay. That was in a day filled with just meh performances other than Tapit Trice, honestly. That was awesome to watch. Wow.
Especially when you look at how that race.
Look how far back she is right there.
Yeah.
Man, if this was Pegasus last weekend, we're screaming the whole time at the screen about what was happening there. Todd Pletcher, they bought Cairo Consort after the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies Turf when she qualified for that after finishing second in the Grade 1 Talma. She was a Woodbine horse. She was not privately, but she was bought at auction for almost $900,000. And Pletcher, since he's had her, has been as effusive with praise as he ever is, which really isn't saying much, but he just kept calling her constantly a professional type. That he seemed like he was very confident in her chances here. She looked good in the Ginger Brew Stakes. I'm with Aaron. That was a hell of a performance there from that filly.
She was anything but professional early in the race, but boy, she was for about 10 seconds down the lane. I mean, that was something.
Well, you got to give a lot of credit to Irad for not being stupid there and trying to do it. Like he just said, you know what? Is there any chance here? We're just gonna have to make one run at this thing, and sure as hell did. That was it came out of the clouds. That was clearly the best of that race.
Good news if you're a subscriber to the Racing Dudes picks as well. We had the 5 in the trifecta, so the 7-5-8 try. I don't know what that's going to pay, but get that 16-1 shot in there. That'll be really good for us.
That's it. Todd Pletcher exacted there. And I really thought halfway home until the 7 showed up on screen, I thought the 5 Alphabella was going to run away with it. A hell of a performance from her, making her first start against winners after breaking her maiden in her turf debut. But that she's one to watch as well, a daughter of Justify with a lot of Irish turf breeding on the dam side. Man, maybe Cairo Consort just got bored beating horses, but she's always within 3 lengths at the first point of call. Maybe she got bored doing that. She's like, let's make this hard on me. Let's actually give this a challenge here. So
I knew he had the 5, and so when the 5 took towards the front, I'm like, okay, who's behind? I saw the 8, and it's like, all right, one of you, where are you guys? And then it's like Cairo Consort at that point just went boom right by. So that was wild because I with you called it, Magic, and I thought the 5 was gone. I thought the race was over.
Yeah, it was. The 5 still probably can't figure out how she lost that one. Sylvain, hopefully that Canadian horse winning here warms you up a little bit. I know it's a little cold where you're at in this part of the world. Is it as bad as yesterday when it's what was it, -52 Fahrenheit?
Yeah, something like
that. That shouldn't even exist in a town like Montreal or upstate New York where your in-laws are at right now. That's oof. Crazy. And by the way, it's like 72 outside here in Los Angeles.
Well, that's not nice.
You live that's a rough life.
-39, Sylvain says.
Well, that's -39 Celsius. What's -39 Celsius?
Cold.
That's -38 Fahrenheit. Yeah, no, that's still cold. -39. How do you live like that? How? What do you do? I don't understand.
Look at me. I don't know.
I mean, I'm looking at you because I'm like the cold that you two have to deal with in Missouri. I'm like, that's not livable. I can't handle that.
Listen, it's 45 right now, and I don't want to go out there. It's too cold.
Dennis says the talent discrepancy between Irad and the rest of the jockeys is insane. They're all above average jockeys, and Irad just so much better. You know what? It's hard to argue with that. Luis Saez is pretty damn good, but man, Jared, I think you said it. Irad was smart about not trying to push her. He didn't rush her up. He got her to engage to the rear of the field and then left her at that point, and he just knew what he had underneath her. Wow.
The thing that's different about the Ozarks weather is that with us, the other day it was like 0 degrees out, and then tomorrow's supposed to be, I think it's supposed to be in the 60s. So you get it all, Magic. Yours is just steady, and then you got poor Silvana. It's getting just pounded in cold weather, and then the Ozarks, we just wake up and we just say, "What is it going to be? Shorts today, or is it going to be pants and long sleeves?"
Pretty much. Also, I'll give the credit to the horse that time, that more so than Irad. I mean, yeah, Irad didn't screw it up, but that was pretty amazing that horse was able to do that.
Let's move from that amazing performance. Let's head over to Oaklawn Park for their next race here. Maybe not so amazing with the performances in this one. It's going to be do I have the wrong race up here? Yeah, no, race 8. I do have the wrong race up here. Race 8 at Oaklawn Park is 5 minutes to post. I backed that up. Aaron, who do you like in this claiming race, 50K at Oaklawn Park?
Yeah, I like a little bit of a price, although the horse has been getting bet down a little bit as we're talking. I went with the number 3, St. Andrews, on top here. Second off the claim for Villafranco, which is usually a pretty good sign. Horse ran in Star Allowance Company last time out, just never did much running. We're going to cut back to 6 furlongs. That's the distance this horse really wants to run. We're dropping down in class a little bit as well, but still staying above the claiming level that where the horse was claimed. The horse was claimed for 30. Now we're at 50. So that's a sign to me that they still like this horse. So I'm going to take a little flyer here that the 3 runs better, cutting back in distance. It was 8-1, now bet down to 5-1.
Jared, did you have a chance to look at this? I'm looking at it for the first time, so it's okay if you haven't.
No, I liked the 8, the first off for Diodoro off the claim. You know, they obviously Diodoro's been red hot. Him and Torres are just on fire at Oaklawn, and so yeah, I just the way this horse has been running, I think the horse will be placed early in the race and likes the 6 furlong distance where the horse ran an 80 by or 2 back, of course, at Santa Anita. So if Diodoro can rub off a little magic on him, I think it'll be tough.
That was the one I kind of had looked at as well to see what the 8 Commander Carl is able to do. It's a question, Aaron, of which race do you get? You know, when he broke his mane, he went Gates of Wire, looked pretty comfortable doing it. Was it the wet conditions at Los Al? Was the fact he's facing winners for the first time, it caused that complete collapse for him there? What do you think about the 8?
No, I use the 8. Yeah, I think that's a logical horse here. And, first off the claim for Diodoro, always a good angle, especially at Oaklawn. Yeah, these horses aren't great in this race, and Commander Carl's not great, but he's definitely a horse that's going to go to the front, going 6 furlongs at Oaklawn for Diodoro. That's really the only case you need to make a lot of times when you're watching this track and you're playing claimers. And he's going to be tough to, he's going to be one they're have to catch, and he's going to be tough to mow down in the stretch.
What do you think about the 7 Crow's Nest, the long shot at 18-1? Steve Asmussen trains, broke the maiden last out. It was first off the claim. They bought the horse for $30,000 at Churchill Downs off Pletcher. Went to Remington Park, ran protected, and came from off the pace. There is a lot of speed, probably a lot of stumble bunnies, as Mike Somich would call them. But you have this horse who definitely likes to pass horses. You've also got Keith Asmussen riding for his dad. So any appreciation for the 7 Crow's Nest here?
I just don't think the horse is fast enough. The numbers aren't really there for this horse. That maiden special weight win at Remington was pretty decent and definitely an improvement. But I think it's a good spot. But I just, at the end of the day, I don't think the horse is going to be quite fast enough.
Jared, if you look through this field, is there anyone from a long shot perspective and odds wise that you like? Because I would go with that one to at least hit the board. I think that a lot of these horses, like I said, will hit a wall, and Keith will have him come running late. Anybody at long shot odds that you like in this race?
It's one of those races that I feel like I by the way, I hate these kind of races at Oakland Park. I hate them. Like you might as well just throw it dart. I guess the one a little bit, maybe makes a little sense, but speed from a speed standpoint. But again, I'll be the first to admit these kind of races at Oakland are just not my forte. They're so hard.
I'm with you. There's two reasons why the Magic Mike show almost never goes to Oakland. That's one of them. The other is because they're always off the turf. If they just would get that turf course up and running, maybe we'd go back there a little more often. But we just can't get it done. Aaron, what about you? Give me a big price horse that's going to bomb the tote here, at least in the trifecta.
Yeah, it's definitely does feel like one of those races where it could happen. What about the horse is 30-1 morning line bet down to 14-1. What about the number one boat song for our buddy Mac Robertson? Listen, this horse last time out does win at Hawthorne in a maiden special weight, earned a speed figure, at least from a time form standpoint, that fits with this group a little bit. It was 6-5 that day at Hawthorne. So obviously a horse that people were betting. I know it's Oakland, a little bit tougher race here, but I thought the price is good enough to maybe give this horse a little bit of the shot. Would not be shocked at all to see Boat Song get the job done here.
That's when you know I'll listen to other people's picks, because that's exactly the horse I just said.
Well, he asked me, who did I like?
I know, but you didn't know I said that horse, did you?
No, but I liked as a long shot. So.
See?
At least I'm not the only podcast co-host that the other co-host just tunes out the entire time.
Exactly.
So I feel you. You know what? If I'm going for a long shot, I'm going to go with the one. No, I'm kidding. Mac Robertson, by the way, 0 for 15 at the meet. This could get him off the schneid. Is Hugh Robertson? Is that his brother? I know that they pass around horses a lot depending on what circuit they're at.
Yep.
Okay.
They're brothers.
So it's not a knockdown for him to be switching back over here. You know what? One that I do like, actually. I probably shouldn't, but the 4 Deus Ex Machina. For Gennaro Garcia, David Cabrera is going to keep riding. The horse showing speed. First race, it worked out for him. He went gate to wire for maiden 30. Was protected against a big company allowance races here, $104,000, $103,000 purses. Takes a big class drop down here. I think this is a more suitable spot for him. Just was never in contention at all in that last race. So we'll see if Cabrera can get him to be a little more interested. He's going to break from the 3 post here with the scratch of the 2, but that's probably where I would go here for a bit of a long shot. But I'm going to root for the Asmussens. Let's see what the Asmussen. Steve Asmussen, by the way, literally is the owner, so he did buy this horse for $30,000. So I'm going to go with his 7 to try and at least get up here and hit the board. Anybody in the chat? Do we have anybody in the chat? No. Oh, there we go. Michael says he likes all of Mac's long shots. So there you go, Jared. Michael Olsen agreeing with your pick, and also he agrees with Aaron's pick.
It's only my pick if the horse wins.
That's true. Otherwise, it was the Racing Dude's pick.
Yeah,
you just blame Aaron for it.
I'm looking at these odds here.
Aaron,
I'm not paying attention again. Trying to put my bets in. This three is 7-2 now. I hate that, but what are you gonna do?
Well, you didn't mention the 12. The Asmussen, who's was the Moorland favorite at 5-2. Is the 12 post too hard to win from at Oakland?
No.
Well, I don't know. I don't play Oakland. We already talked about that.
It's a sprint. It doesn't matter where they break.
My favorite part about Oakland is I'm forced to hit the mute button every time that they're about to start racing.
Yeah. We were talking to a trainer once about it was a sprint race. And I was like, yeah, the horse is hung all the way out that 12 hole. I'm not sure. The trainer goes, what the fuck are you talking about? I was like, I don't know about that post. He's like, it's one fucking turn. Who cares? And I was like, well, if that's good enough for you and you train horses, then I won't worry about it. You know? So.
Hard to argue with that one.
I know. I looked at him like, well, you're here every day and you train. So if it doesn't bother you, then why am I talking about it? He was just like,
well, and when the 12 breaks like that, my goodness. Yeah, it sure as shit doesn't matter. The 12, by the way, had been keeping good company. Lots of stakes races at Remington Park, just couldn't really quite break through. And this is the lowest level he's been in his entire career.
There's a Jared's long shot, the 1.
He's a little bit of a handful there.
He looks like he's at Will Rogers right now.
He's not. His feet come out of the stirrups a little bit there.
I mean, the
Reminded
jockey
me
looked
of-
like he was in a windstorm. He was getting like knocked over sideways trying to
He
get
probably
the horse
got
to
calm
move.
down, see if he's got any run left.
Look at him go.
Get up that rail, one. Get up that rail, one.
He's
No.
trying. I think he has nowhere to run.
You got nowhere to go.
No. Asmussen's horse looks good here. Who's this 5 coming on the outside?
Breslau.
Look at this one running, man. He's
Come
not
on,
good
one
enough,
horse.
but he tried.
5. Okay, I did use the
5,
5 in the
1.
pick 4 at least. The 1 ran great.
Boy,
Yeah,
that was a great effort from the 1.
Yeah.
That would have been awesome at that price. But yeah, I mean, those were the things that you wish that he just would have let the horse go. You know, don't fight him in that case. But I know he's about to run into the back of a horse.
I was gonna say he might be dead if you let him go.
But if he could got him out or something, because that horse, all that horse wanted to do was freaking run. Look at him running still.
You're not wrong. All he wanted to do was just go. He didn't have no interest in anything else.
No slowing down at all. They're just like, just go.
Well, that's good for the pick 4, but man, the 3 did no running whatsoever. Man.
Wow.
The
Well,
one
I
almost
can
got
proudly
this
report Keith Asmussen passed 3 horses from the rear on the 7th. So did that. Got that done.
Well, it's better than passing no horses.
Cyclo
That's true.
Mischief 3-2 at Dillon the Holy Bull here. 19 minutes to post.
Gross.
Lord Miles at 5-2, 3-1 on Rocket Can. I mean, logically, those are your 3 horses, but 3-2. 3-2 on Del Romans. Magic, what do you think?
I'll let him beat me. My God. I don't care who the horse is. Like, there are some Curtises in the world that like they just salivate and get really hard over seeing a short price like that. I am not one of them. That is not me. Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit, Aaron.
Okay.
I'm glad that does not make you hard.
See, this is why I don't pay attention when you guys talk.
Don't wrap me up into that, okay? I never mentioned getting hard ever.
This is why I can't pay attention when you guys talk. I finally paid attention, and look what happened. Let me ask you guys this: Legacy Isle is 8-1. I mean that seems like craziness to me.
Why? Explain.
I mean,
Because he should be 3 for 3. Really?
wouldn't you think the horse should be more like 4-1? Like, I think 8-1. I thought Legacy Isle, Rocket Can, Lord Miles would all kind of be similar. That is definitely the one that sticks out to me. And it's early and the horse may change, but Lord Miles at 5-2. It's my top pick. I hate that horse is getting bet down like that. But although it's IRAD, so that is probably why any IRAD horse is going to take extra money. But I'm surprised Legacy Isle is 7-1. This horse has got the most speed, can take him gate to wire. I worry about the distance a little bit with the horse, but it is Gulfstream. Getting out in front is not the worst thing. We've seen that.
Well, and it's his first time routing going to turns, I should say, because he was doing 1 turn each of those. How do Aaron, the time form numbers for Legacy Isle look? Because from a buyer perspective, he's really kind of middle of the pack here. He had no improvement.
Did you ask me that? So you can't send me text like you just sent me and then ask me a question right after. So Legacy Isle, from a time form standpoint, fits in about third, as far as the top number. Definitely as far as to get to the lead, it's going to be him or the 5 in front. So, to me, it's gate to wire. You just take your shot with Saez, and Saez is going to ride him hard. So,
yeah, Jared, do you give Legacy Isle and Luis Saez any kind of chance, even a little bit, to try and go gate to wire?
Well, when you word it like that, it really puts me on the spot, because if I said no, I don't think so though. No, I don't think that horse can win. So I really think honestly, I'm not even playing the 4, so that certainly puts the horse in the winner's circle. So it's the 8 or the 1 for me. I think the 1 to me looks like the horse that's got the most that this race I feel like is made for. Let's put it that way. I don't think he's the best horse. I don't think he's the horse I'm most excited about. I just think this race makes a lot of sense for him.
Aaron, let's try to be sensible about this. That's why I'm giving it to you and not me explaining it. Dale Romans with Cyclone Mischief. Romans has said that this is one of the best horses he's ever trained. He said that a lot. It seems like Dennis's moment comes to mind, and look how that turned out for him. But Cyclone Mischief, realistically, like, are you going to be that surprised if he gets the job done here?
No, I'm not going to be surprised. I'm not, because let's face it, this is at least going into it, a pretty weird looking Holy Bull, right? There's no Pletcher horses. There's no big time heavy hitters in this race. There's, it's weak. And so I think he can win it for sure. The problem is 3-2, and you knew it was going to be this way. We've talked about it all week. You knew he was going to get bet down. You don't want to take Dale at a short price. That's all there is to it. And look, if he's 20 points better, 10 points better than the rest of the field, then he kind of forces your hand. There's not a standout in this race. He's not that much of a standout compared to a couple other horses in here. So, but am I going to be shocked if he's going to win? No. I mean, he's got a shot. He looks as good as the top 2 or 3 do in this race.
How upset will you guys be, Jared, mostly you, if Rocket Can wins and the Magic Mike Show gets the top fantasy league points for Rocket Can getting the job done?
Well, I'm definitely rooting against Rocket Can for that. That's
fair.
Point
that's fair.
I didn't know that you had the 8, to be honest with you, until now. So, okay. But no, I don't know. You guys need all the points you can get, because you're not going to get any with Cave Rock. So I hope that he helps you out.
You guys are getting with our recent claim that we got either.
Bullshit horses that pick you up points. It's annoying.
We went into this year's draft going, let's try and change up how we draft, because last year, other than Epicenter and White Bar, it was kind of a pretty rough group, and we got lucky with those two. We said, let's try and draft how Aaron Halterman drafts. So we went after horses that are like, we got Cave Rock. After that, nobody's inspiring, but they're going to run, hopefully, and get us points. Our claim so far hasn't worked out for us, but, at least Rocket can get in there. Arctic Arrogance should have been running into Withers today, but he'll win it next week instead. Aaron, you talked about the 1, Lord Miles, which was your top pick here. 5-2 5-2 current odds. What's the lowest you would take on the 1, Lord Miles?
Okay, we got back up. You won the league last year, right? And you came into this year and you said, we should change up how we do things.
You said it. That's what I was thinking.
What the? Again, this is why I just listen for my name on the screen.
Cairo Consort decided, you know what? It's too easy if I do things normal. Let's try and make this challenging. We're going to draft like Aaron Halterman does.
If that's what you would have said, that would have been funny, but that's not what you said. You innocently just told us you changed up your strategy, even though you won last year. All right. I don't know who you asked about, but I'll talk about Rocky. The 1, he's going to win. I've already told people about that. I do think the 8, we'll talk about your horse for a second. I do think this horse has got some upside. And you got to love the trainer. I mean, Bill Mott, very good trainer. You got Junior aboard. These guys never win a big race at Gulfstream, right? Oh, wait, Pegasus last week, same connections, won this race, won the Pegasus. So obviously there's a lot to like. And I if you're betting Rocket Can, I can't really talk you off of it. I think that horse has got a big shot. With the 1, I think the big key and why I really liked him, he's got a great pedigree, and he's got a pedigree that says we need to stretch out now. And now we're getting it. Now we're getting a stretch out. And so my hope is with the 1, we sit a little bit closer naturally in this race, because you go a little slower when you go a mile and 16th. And I think the horse will sit a little bit closer and still have a little bit of a kick. I really like him. And I think Irad getting aboard is a good sign, no doubt.
Kind of feels like, and we'll talk, we can talk more about it after the race, obviously, depending on what happens, but definitely feels like today we've seen. Let's just make those two horses, General Jim and Tapit Trice. You know, we don't know if they're going to show up in the Fountain Youth or wherever they're going to show up next, but where you're just whoever wins this, you're still saying, well, let's just wait till the actual big dogs show up for these next races, because I just don't know that the only horse, and we talked a lot about it on Bleakers Off, like if Cyclone Mischief does it, cruises again. Now, to be fair, you have zero confidence in him moving forward. You don't know what he's going to do, but he at least has a lot of upside, whereas I don't know that I have a lot of upside with any of these. I'm more thinking who's gonna be the new shooters that are gonna take over these, you know, whether it be Forte or if it's Florida Derby, if it's Tapit Trice or whoever it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just feels like it's hard to get too inspired about what happens out of this race, at least before we get into it.
The Holy Bull has in years past, it's been kind of a up and down. You know, one year you get an Audible, the next year it's Harvey Wallbanger, and then it's Tis the Law, and then it's Greatest Honor, and then it's White Abario, and then it's whoever wins this year. So not sometimes you get a great horse that comes out of this. You know, Mo Heyman went off to win the to do well until he ran into Nyquist. Irish Warcry won this race. He won the Wood Memorial, was second in the Belmont. Some people even picked him to win the Kentucky Derby from the 17 post. I don't know who would have done something as silly as that, but yeah, hey, you don't ever know what's going to happen with the Holy Bull Stakes. They got Safi Jusuf on the screen right now. Right after Dale Romans was talking about how great Cyclone Mischief is and amazing of a horse. So plenty of ways to go. Aaron, Safi Joseph, is he? I know that you said that you like the one. So what I'd asked you about the one, what are the lowest odds that you would play Lord Miles at?
He's at him. I don't want any lower than this 5-2, and it's really probably a tick low now. But you got to be realistic about who's riding this race and know that you're going to get bet. But he doesn't need to go any lower. 5-2 is about right.
Oh boy, Rocket Can looks fantastic. Got him on screen right now, all dappled out, very gray. God, what a beautiful horse.
What a beautiful horse. The Paddock Award. We'll see when they get in the post parade, but that horse looks like a beast.
I thought the one looked pretty good too.
Yeah. I thought your horse was gorgeous too, Jared. That Tapit Trice today.
Oh, yeah, that horse looked he looked really nice. It was like more like a brownish gray, you know, to him. I like that. I like that color.
Yeah. Me too.
He looked fast. He didn't look like the slow gray. He looked like the fast gray.
Right.
There's something about grays. When they're fast, they look really fast, and when they're slow, they look like donkeys. Just like that. I don't know what it is about the coloring that does that, but you're not wrong on that.
The Tacitus was a slow gray.
Yeah. Essential quality and Nick's Go, beautiful.
Yeah. Yep.
Let me see if I can. Nope, that doesn't want to work. Damn, I was gonna pull up the script. I'll do it real quick here. The picture of Tapit Trice, just so that people can see what Jared was talking about. Look how beautiful that horse is. That's him winning today at Gulfstream Park.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks good.
Beauty of his horse. Beauty of a horse. Man. All right.
We get that back.
He's gonna be white, and he'll be white in 2 years too. That's what's cool about those. So.
Yeah.
8 minutes to post here at Gulfstream. Aaron, if round out the trifecta here, where are you going after Lord Miles? You have on top.
Oh, I went 1, 8, 6, 4.
1, 8, Rocket Can. 6, like I say, 4, Cyclone Mischief. In 4th, wow. Little chalky there with your picks. So give me a horse that's double-digit odds as you think could hit the board.
I think these other ones are pretty bad. I'll go with no. I'm outside the 5, but Rosario's on the 5. Shadow Dragon, the 3, looked pretty good in the post parade here as I was watching him go by. Kind of the other Bill Mott horse, not kind of, is the other Bill Mott horse in this race. Coming off of a little bit of a layoff. Maybe the horse improves going 2 turns. So I'll go Shadow Dragon to hit the board.
Jared, what about you? Any of the double-digit horses that you like to hit the board?
I'll bite the bullet, I guess, and go with Rosario. No, I don't. I think it's a very top-heavy race. I think the 5 maybe could get in there and, make some noise like third or fourth, but definitely feels like, because the thing is too, like the way the race sets up, it should kind of benefit all like the heavy hitters. The 4 should be out there. The 1 should be tracking somewhat closer. And then of course the 8 should be right there as well. So all those horses will get kind of first run, so to speak, in past the 6. So, maybe it makes sense to play those 4, which isn't sexy, but can anybody pass any of those 4 is the question.
You know what? I'm going to go with the bigger reach here. I'm going to go with the 7, Il Miracolo, horse that broke his maiden going a mile here at Gulfstream Park. 3 races back, went to the Remsen, broke last and never got engaged, but that race was in the slop, and Castellano really didn't pursue him too much further after that. Got no excuse for what happened in the Mucho Macho Man Stakes last time out, other than, again, he got too far back. If Reyes, who hops back aboard first time since the maiden win, if Reyes keeps him engaged, I don't think he's good enough to win, but this feels kind of like the simplification type that Antonio Sano seems to always have one horse that's around in these races on the 3-year-old prep season in Florida that could hit the board there. Is a son of Gunrunner out of a tap at mare, so has got the breeding to handle stretching back out to 2 turns here, but hasn't done well. Lost to Mr. Ripple, lost to Legacy Isle, and then you look at who he's faced, how he's done his last 2 stakes races. At least you're getting a bit of a price on him. He's 35-1 on the board, according to the pick 5. He's the highest payout. And Aaron, I got to ask. I honestly don't know. So if they're not alive, I apologize. Are the Rockets still alive here in this last leg?
Yeah, but the payouts are trash. So nothing to get too excited about. We could cash it and make $100 maybe. That's what we're looking at. It's not great. The payouts have been pretty weak.
Yeah, Cyclo Mischief right now is the for the pick 5 at least pays out $72 for 50 cents, and then 97 for Rocket Can, 133 for Lord Miles. So maybe that's the one that I know that was your top pick. Maybe that'll be the one that gets it home. Really, nothing too good happening here from a price perspective. That's what happens when Pletcher gets 3 of the 4 legs that we've seen so far in this pick 5 come home, though.
Yeah, exactly right. And you had a chance there with that 16-1 shot in the race before, but Cairo Consort just too good and mowed him down. So, yeah, I mean, it's just chalked out completely. And, even a race like that Forward Gal, you thought, hey, we could get a price here, had some prices and played, but, favorite was good enough to get the job done there too. So it's been a chalky late sequence today.
That's
everybody
okay.
In the chat. Let's do it. Everyone in the chat. Put your top 4 in ice cold order. And if you're right, Magic will pay you $5. No, he will shout you out. He'll pin your right pick, and then you are allowed to say anything. We'll make sure we'll post it on the air. You can say anything you want if you're right. So, but you had the top 4 cold, not boxed. We're not boxing here. Halterman, you go first.
I've already done it. Don't you ever listen to me, Jared? I've already done it.
1 4. No, what'd you say? 1 6 4 8.
1 8 6 4.
Okay. I'll go 1 6 4 8. 1 6 4 8. 1 6 4 8.
I'll go with 8 1 6 4. Very slightly different from Aaron's here, but I'm hoping Rocket Can gets the job done. Although I almost want to leave. You know what? I'll make it a little more different. I'll go 8 1 6 5. Cyclone Mischief doesn't even hit the superfecta, and Mr. Bob and Joel Rosario, they're somehow going to get up for 4th. That'll be my play here.
Man, crazy.
Look at a lot of people. I got a 2. Look at that, Chris. Chris got the 2 on top.
Listen, people want to say anything they can. So
Hunter, you're missing a horse, Hunter.
Close.
It's 4 horses, so maybe it's the all. Some 2s thrown in there. I've seen a couple 2s. Really, Shoddy's got the 2.
Is this your cousin? Who's Brandon Welch?
That's up, Brandon. I have no idea. But good to see you.
Yeah. Welcome.
Thanks for joining the chat here. Who is West Coast Cowboy? That sounds like a horse you would like, Magic.
Yep. They named it after Magic.
West Coast Cowboy. Yeah, I got about as good a chance of winning this as me myself would have.
I know some douchebag Cowboys on our air every once in a while, I've noticed.
That's right. Yeah. It's a douchebag cowboy.
Yeah, that's yeah.
This 4 is now 6-5, fellas.
God, why couldn't they have given this horse to Kelly von Hummel?
I don't know. Good question.
Would you bet this with Magic's money, Alterman?
No.
Wow, that says a lot, really.
I'd bet West Coast Cowboy.
When was the last time Dale Romans won a graded stakes? This is a legitimate question. Does anybody know?
What?
I'm sure he's won one.
Was it Dennis's moment?
No, he's won one since that. Surely.
Well, okay, Dennis. I was a year off with Dennis's moment. I was thinking that was 2020. Dennis's moment was 2019. Dale Romans' last stakes win, Mr. Freeze, the Grade 2 Fayette at Keeneland, October 2020.
He had that horse right for a little while in spurts, and he was pretty good when he did. He also was second in the Pegasus World Cup behind Mucho Gusto.
That was his last stakes win?
October 2020, his last graded stakes win.
Wow,
Yep.
That's rough.
So in the last 5 years, Romans has had 16 graded stakes wins. 4 of them came from Mr. Freeze. 5 of them came from Promises Fulfilled. Yep.
That's well, this is the best horse he's ever trained, though, guys. So maybe it's about to change.
I forget about Promises Fulfilled. That was a pretty good horse that was able to win as a short price favorite for him a few times. So, got to give him credit for that one. That was
a really good horse.
Yeah, he was good.
Fun.
Now we tried running him 2 turns for a while, and when we got him 1 turn, he was really good.
But even when he ran 2 turns, he fought his ass off. He tried.
He did try. Yeah. Good horse. Well, Dale needs a win. Hopefully he gets it here.
I'm telling you, he's due.
He is due. And again, he might win, but boy, 6-5, that'd be it's hard to take. Really hard to take.
It feels like a Dennis's moment style. I mean, I know the Dennis's moment was coming off of a layoff from the Breeders' Cup in the Fountain of Youth, but like he was getting bet so heavily and then just never ran a step really ever again in his career.
Yeah.
It's no shade on Romans. If there's a good horse that's out there, we want to see it continue to do well. It's a lot of fun for us, but man, from a betting perspective, I wish there was a way to know what the stats were with Romans when he has the betting favorite. Maybe I can find that.
Yeah, well, a lot of people like to say we hate Dale Romans, and couldn't be further from the truth. We just don't like betting him at a short price, and there's a big difference between the two. Dale Romans a really nice guy, and he is fun. When he has a good horse, it's fun. It's funny, but at 6-5 in a Derby prep, he is really hard to bet, and that's where that comes from.
But it's almost like regardless of what happens, you're going to see him at least 2 more Derby preps. This horse.
Yep.
And he could win either one of those 2 races, or at least run really well. Like that's what makes him impossible. If he wins here, he may not win another one. He's impossible to figure out and impossible to handicap, and that's kind of why we always say, like, unless he's a huge price, we just cannot play him because you can't trust playing a horse that you can't. We just said he hasn't won a stakes since 2020, so it's like, come on.
Yep, absolutely. They're in the gate.
Last 5 years, he's 6 for 12 with his favorites in graded stakes races. So we'll see which trend bucks out. Nice break for the Cyclone Mischief. Going to sit probably. Well, nope. Now he's going to take back a little bit. We're going to sit 4th heading into that first turn. Mr. Bob, put the blinkers on, and Rosario says it's go time.
He could be dangerous.
22 and 45.
If he goes that fast, he's not going to be dangerous. But if he gets out there by himself, he could be dangerous. So 24, that's a good trip for this horse, at least.
The one was somewhat tracking, but Irad is opted just to bring him back because everyone is so much bunched up. But he's definitely going to have his work cut out for him in terms of getting a trip off the inside here.
Yeah, he's behind a wall. He is up close, though, closer than some may have thought he was going to be, but maybe we can sneak him up the rail here.
I'm loving the four wide trip on Rocket Can. Really loving that.
Well, he's in the clear, though. That's the good news.
The six looks tough right here, Halterman.
Yep. Here comes Rocket Can. Let's see if Cyclone can do anything. Look at this 3. My goodness.
I was going to say Shadow Dragon. The other mock.
Shadow Dragon. Oh, Rocket Can looks
and
good.
And then the 2 West Coast Cowboys getting a nice trip up the rail.
Oh, Rocket Can looks real good. By the way, where's Cyclone? Come on, Rocket Can. Finish the race.
Cyclone's falling off. He's 5th and fading.
Shocker.
Come on, Rocket. Come on, Rocket.
He's got it.
Good Hold win. These horses off.
Good.
Come on.
Very good. Very good. Good job.
3 of the last 4. No, neither of you care about this. I'm going to say anyways. 3 of the last 4 years, Magic Mike Show has had the winner of this race. Tizzalaw, White Barrio, Rocket Can. Let's go.
You're right. We don't care.
So, first thought, and this is not to poo-poo on that because that was a good effort for sure. That race kind of was what we thought it was, though. It wasn't great. Not a great race at all.
Did anybody have that 8? Who was it? 8-3.
I think it went 8-3.
I'm looking. I see some 8s. I see an 8-1-3. Oh, the 1 was awful too.
Yeah, the 1 didn't.
I don't see too many 3s anywhere.
No, not any 3s. 8-4-3-7. That's 4 did not run, buddy. Yeah, I don't think so.
8-3-2-6. That trifecta going 8-3-2 is going to pay nicely.
So no one gets to say what they wanted to say to everybody here. But anyways, that was I mean, kidding aside, I mean that was a nice win. I mean, I thought the horse range. I don't think it was a kind of. I still would have picked. Don't you think Tappet Trice would have won that race?
Yes.
Yes.
I don't. That to me, I think he would have beat the hell out of him.
Yes.
It's possible to say. What was the what did he run that Tappet Trice run earlier? Do you remember, Halterman?
Oh, I can't remember. We talked about it, but we also were saying like,
hold on.
There's
136 and 2.
And they ran the mile here in 138 and 54.54. So I mean, let's visual. I'm not going to sit here and just dog this horse because it's a win. It's a win in a Derby prep, and it's give him credit. But visually, that race looked like horrific. Just visually.
Good draft pick because you just picked up some free points there.
Yeah.
So.
That was pretty good. You know what? I would take credit, but this is the horse that Dr. Miranda came on the show and picked. So Dr. Miranda doing a great job for us for the Magic Mike Show. Really couldn't have picked a better valet for the Magic Mike Show team. Come on and make that pick for us.
How does that horse? How does that 4 run that bad? Oh my gosh!
I was just gonna say, which like more disappointing that Lord Miles was never engaged, or that the 4 just woof, not even top 5 in an 8-horse race.
I mean, that was very. We talked shit on that race, and that horse couldn't even. I mean,
says very slowly. Again,
for the people in the back, say it.
And for Gabe, whatever his name is, that always loves the Romans horses and gives a shit every time we go against him. Don't bet him as a favorite. He's not a good trainer. Period. That doesn't mean he's a bad guy. It's Romans. This happens all the time. That's it.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It's just a different horse every year, but it's the same shit. Giant game. Look out. He's the best horse I've ever had. He's nowhere. Now, when this horse is inevitably 20-1 in the bluegrass, throw him in there. He's got a shot.
I really want to see what this try pays with a 5-2 over a 30-1 over a 50-1. Oh, come on, show me what it is.
Dale Romans was 6-5 in a Derby prep. I mean, incredible. God, this 8 is gorgeous horse. We have seen some beautiful grays today. My goodness.
What was it?
Hey, another beautiful gray tomorrow. Charge It's back. So it's the week of the grays.
Oh, that's right.
At Gulfstream.
Here's a good question. We don't really know the answer, but last time out, Cyclone Mischief did take advantage of being able to use Lasix. Could that have potentially been something that Sylvain asked? Is that could the Lasix have possibly helped? Because he did fade pretty heavily when last time out. That was right when you saw him kicking into gear.
I definitely think it's always Lasix for Romans for sure. Yes, definitely. Just like Giant Game, Roman, and name every other one in the world. Yes, Lasix.
Can't wait to hear I don't know. We don't really know. No idea what happened here. Like we thought he was running great. Like we'll see how he comes out of it, and probably he'll be in the next one. So
we'll scratch it out and show up at the Sam F. Davis next weekend.
Yep.
I wouldn't be shocked at all if that horse is in the Sam F. Davis or the Risen Star or the Rebel or all three or
Screw it. Ship him up to New York. Let's go to the rescheduled Withers next weekend. Let's make the horse travel all the way up from Florida to New York and see if he can do that.
I guarantee you the quote is going to be, "We don't know what happened. He's fine. Everything's good. We'll just draw a line through it. No big deal. Don't worry about it." I guarantee you that's what it'll be.
Whew.
By the way, how do you win races at Santa Anita? I can. This track is insane. Like is every course turf and dirt just lightning fast? I mean, you can't bet it. Anyways, carry on.
Yeah.
Who got the win at Santa Anita?
The 2 went. No, who was it? I had the 10.
I think it was the 2, wasn't it?
The 2 went gate to wire.
Was the 2? Listen, Jeff Mullins and Barrios Hector, man, you got to watch out for those two. They gave you a real shot in the arm.
Pratt and Diamato had made a great run. Couldn't even sniff the 2.
Oh, Pratt loses on another favorite. Man.
Yeah, Pratt's just awful right now. He's just awful.
Rosario wants to come out to California. I don't think that's going to be much better for you.
That had nothing to do with his ride. I mean, that 2 just never even gave anyone else a chance.
No, but he's just ice cold. Like he's in one of the. I wasn't blaming him for that one. I was just saying he's just in one of those slumps. He can't do anything right. So
Bayco about up.
Yep, Bayco, they're heading to the gate right now. We can talk about this and then get out of here. A nice local prep for the Azeri Stakes and then the Apple Blossom Handicap later on in the meet. Aaron, I'll kick it over to you first. You did the preview for this race. Where are you going in the Bayakoa?
Yeah, I'm going to take one more shot with Ice Orchid here. I just thought she ran too good to lose last time out. I'm hoping we get some pace pressure on the 7 in this spot. I think the 5 will do it. I thought that last time, though. So I really like Ice Orchid. Kind of sits kind of that stalking trip and just tries to mow him down this time.
Jared?
Yeah, we were on the same horse this time. We both picked Ice Orchid last time, and we're both rolling with her one more time to try to get. I think the idea now that you're going to get an easy lead off of Lovely Ride is going to be tougher this time around. That 5 needs to go out there and do her job and try to make things a little more tricky. The 4 Powder River, I think, has some speed, but I think Ice Orchid sits the perfect trip here in order to run her down.
Well, she broke really well, and she's on the rail, just sitting there chilly. But guess who's out by itself again? The 7.
You got it.
That's where I was going to
go. 5. Go. Get up there. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have gone with the 7 for my top pick here. Being a Diodoro horse, 1-2 straight.
You make sure you get out to the lead this time.
Yeah. I mean, the 5's trying to do the job at least, so that's good. The 3 is sitting a perfect trip. That's also good.
The 5 and the 3 both trained by John Ortiz, so you've got to think that maybe Ortiz wanted to send the 5 out there to soften it up for the 3. Shortleaf Stable, owner of the 3, the winningest owner in Oaklawn Park history. Still got a good trip there. 48 flat. They slowed it way down on the backside. We'll see if the pressure did soften up Lovely Ride, but she's about to take off right now.
Yeah, and the 3 doesn't seem like she wants to. Okay, there she goes. Now she's going. But here comes Brad Cox, this horse up the rail. But I think Lovely Ride's going to get him again.
Yeah,
Torres with the confident peek behind.
Maybe Cox.
Don't let this one win.
Maybe Cox. Maybe the horse up the rail. Maybe they softened her up enough. No, don't think so.
Brad,
come on,
Cox.
Diodoro. Re-break. Come on, 7.
Get up there.
Oh, come on, 1.
So close. The 1's got it.
1's got it.
The most frustrating thing in the world about that is that I used to own a Moray with my racehorse, and then they decided, she's probably not going to turn into anything. Let's just get rid of her while we can. And if Brad Cox gets a hold of her, she's won 2 straight stakes races.
Makes sense.
I understand. Yeah, that makes total sense.
I think Halterman, you and I are going to have to exit the Ice Orchid train here. I think it's not going to happen for her. That was the way they wanted to make that race go, right? And
yep.
I'm kind of wondering too if she ran too hard last time. Like she ran all out last time. Maybe she's a little tired.
Yep. I know. Yeah. She just didn't fire at all this time. And I thought she was right there with a great shot. And yep. Didn't fire. I'm with you. We're done. And that's when she's going to win.
Yeah.
Get your odds in now for the Apple Blossom. See what you can lock her in at.
No, I'm not playing in the Apple Blossom. Somebody decent will come in for that.
All right. So that was it for the I think we finally hit all the races we were going to cover today. Thank you, by the way, everybody who's joined us. There's been a lot of you consistently here with us. We really appreciate it. We're doing this every Saturday, all the way through the Triple Crown series. So lots of big races all the way up through then. And next weekend, we've got Tampa Bay Downs with the Sam F. Davis Stakes. We'll have the rescheduled Withers Stakes at Aqueduct and the El Camino Real Derby at Golden Gate Fields. Everybody's favorite Preakness win in your in race. We've got that next week, so we'll plenty more to cover. Gentlemen, before we get out of here, I think I know the answer, but I'll just ask it anyways. Your most impressive winner on the day, Jared. I'll start with you.
Okay. I want to do it one. I'll answer that question, and then I want to ask you guys your top 3 3-year-olds that ran today. So I will say Tappet Trice was my most impressive, just because I obviously love that horse. But I did think that was a pretty wow performance. I would rank the top 3 3-year-olds I saw run today as Tappet Trice, General Jim, Newgate.
Same.
Wow. I mean, I'll agree with you on Tappet Trice. I would say that Rocket Can I would probably put in 3rd. Gun Pilot. I would put Gun Pilot 2nd. I thought Gun Pilot was pretty damn impressive as well.
Okay, I'd like to change mine to, I would like to do Tappet Trice, Newgrange, and then
Newgate.
Yeah, I know. I always do that. I honestly, I see Newgrange. I'm like, what is that? I'm like, wow, I do it every time. And then Gun Pilot 3rd. Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, Cairo Consort is a 3-year-old technically, so that would be up there too. That was my favorite race of the day for sure. I think Newgate Newgate would not be in there with Gun Pilot. I think Gun Pilot was a little better. So yeah, I would go Tappet Trice, General Jim, Gun Pilot.
It's all right. I'll continue waving the Rocket Can flag. Excuse me. We'll see what happens for him next day. You got to think Fountain of Youth probably at Gulfstream is going to be his next start. Once again, thanks everybody for joining us. We'll be back next Saturday for another live show covering all the big Derby props and the other major stakes action. If you haven't yet, subscribe to youtube.com/racingdudes and hit like on this video. We really appreciate that. And don't forget also, Dudes Who Bet Daily every Wednesday through Sunday, giving out the best bets. We loved Iowa State and we hated Cyclone Mischief. We said only one Cyclone was winning today. We were correct about that one. Make sure you tune in for that one. Blinkers Off every Thursday. Magic Mike Show every Monday and Thursday. And then, of course, all the fun at racingdudes.com. Aaron, you've been talking about through the show the premium products you were nailing. The tries in this race, the supers in this race, the exactas in this with lots of prices. So if you haven't yet, go check out the Racing Dudes premium products as well. Aaron continues to kick some solid ass over there. Final thoughts, gentlemen, before we get out of here.
Ooh, I'm ready for the big day not to be at Gulfstream. That track has just been a little strange, it seems, lately. We haven't gotten the fields we kind of thought we would have. So now we'll head over to Tampa, where things are always nice and easy for next week.
I thought even though it was weird, that we kind of left the day about how we went into the day in terms of, we kind of knew the cycle mischief wasn't super great. We knew whoever won the Holy Bull maybe wasn't going to be overly impressive. Maybe Tapit Trice was a little bit more impressive than we expected. But yeah, I mean, and then of course the Bob Baffert situation, Arabian Lion was a surprise, so to speak. But I don't think we learned a ton about the Derby Trail today. Let's just put it that way.
No.
That the 832 trifecta in the Holy Bull paid $412 for 50 cents. So not too shabby if you're able to get it out. Unfortunately, nobody in the chat did it. Maybe you guys will be able to get it done next week. But make sure you tune in next time. And of course, like I said, subscribe to the youtube.com/racingdudes and hit the notifications bell. You'll never miss a single show. For Aaron, Jared, I'm Magic. Mike Somich is somewhere between here and North Carolina. We'll figure that out later. We'll see you next time, everybody. Thanks a lot. RacingDudes.com is your home for the best free picks for every race, every track across the country. We're ramping up for the 2023 Kentucky Derby, and we want you to join us in the fun. Subscribe to Racing Dudes YouTube channel and click the notification bell so you never miss a single video. Want to make money betting horses? Bet with the Racing Dudes.